Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Matthew. We're looking at a nuts and bolts insert from a 1995-1996 Fleer Metal, and this is a Michael Jordan card. This is one of the first times we reviewed this specific Fleer Metal card, and it is where we have another card coming up really soon. This card several times graded over. It's the base. This is the insert card, and I don't know if the base or the insert card grades more out. We do have an example here of a 10. So you can, how I look at measuring on the surface, and this is actually to me slightly off on the centering, surface and centering, but right now I'm just focused on, this could actually play into a surface thing, but more centering. I actually count the rivets that this top point is over from left and then to right, and the closer that those rivets are identical. And let's just see if we can get a close-up. If we zoom in and see if it will focus. Great. So you can kind of see we're in the middle of almost, and it is different from it going left to right, but I feel like there's a little more room on the left side compared to the top. And I mean, centering, when you get a 10, sometimes the overall subgrades may not all, maybe the other subgrades were 10, like these corners are really sharp. The edges are extremely sharp. Kind of see there. That corner there can be considered a little light. So that corner there could be considered a little light too. So for this to get a 10 is, CGC's grading policy. Now, we only do about 5% of our first 100 cards. We're on card 119, 120. We're on 120 right now. So out of 120 cards, and I think even it stays around 5 to 10%. It's probably gonna be closer to 5%. I just don't. Maybe it's where we have this kind of premium value on our 10s, but it's where for me it's hard to get a 10 out of us. Like that card I just showed you from CSG, now CGC. It wouldn't have got a 10 from me. It would have got a 9.5. And this card here probably is very similar. And I could just say 10. Saw that right there, comparable grade. This is a 10. But now, if there are any imperfections to it, I want my buyer to be aware of those imperfections. Whoever graded that 10 that's their assessment of it. And that's their ability to grade. Maybe I am too strict sometimes. Maybe I should give out more than 5% of 10s to our overall grades. But I'm a strict person. I like when there's fewer of the 10s. And you could be like, well, you're controlling the pop report now, just similar to PSA and these other grading companies. You are indirectly doing what other people hate. You do what you own hate. I hate gatekeeping pop reports to increase value for specific grades. I hate that. And it's one of the reasons why I started doing all this. And I'm doing it immediately, like once I started getting an overall assessment of how many 10s I'm giving out. So I had to keep that all in mind. I have to say to myself, am I being so strict that I'm trying to increase value for the rarity of the grade compared to, am I letting cards through that aren't true gem mints into the population where I deep down don't feel they're gem mints? That's a hard line to walk. As a grader, as 120 cards in, I'm going to do 10,000 of these. Eventually, I will become, they say 10,000 hours till you master a skill. I'm getting there, 120. We're getting there. But this is going to take a long time before I perfect this. And I really would I'd have Grok AI to double check me. And I'm actually going, and whenever Grok AI gives me a score I don't feel is an accurate representation of multiple other graders, I say, you got to go cross-reference this again because I don't know if I agree with your score. So I'm working on refining Grok's ability to give us accurate scores, not just for my cards. I want everybody who uses Grok to be able to get accurate scores. But anyways, that is a long-winded way of telling you I care deeply about these scores. I cross-references to other grading companies. You can see that 10 right there. I cross-reference with Grok. These aren't just some random grades I put on there. I care about this deeply. I care about this specific card a lot. This is the first time I'm grading it, and this is probably one of the more common cards that I have purchased throughout the years. So you can see there's maybe a little bit less room on the left than the top. It's very similar to that one, and that got a 10. So if any of my corners are light, one could say this has a similar lightness to that other one. So my centering, I'm probably going to go with a 10. Let's look at the back and see if there's, so that space between the 2 to the right to the 2 to the bottom, and then the space between the logo and the bottom. One could say there's a little more room on the left side, so I could go to a 9.5 on my centering for this card. That's, one could say like there's a similar amount of room on this card. They got a 10. Let's take a look. So that's almost identical. And they gave this a 10. So I'm in between a 9.5 and a 10 on my centering. I'm doing a 10 based on cross-referencing. I'm going to be a little less hard on myself, and you see exactly what other grading companies are doing. You see what I'm doing. I'm giving that a 10. The surface, I do have some fingerprints I need to remove, but I'm not seeing any other major issues with the surface to this card. That's just a fingerprint. So we'll go with a 10 on the surface. Corners, I'm going to give a 9.5 to, and edges a 10. So a rare moment of a 10 for a graded card with us. One only slight imperfection that I can assess is the corners with a 9.5. Still have not given a perfect 10, all subgrades. Haven't been able to do one of those yet, so looking forward to that actually one day. 120 in, haven't been able to do that yet. But yeah, we're close to about 5% on our 10s. I only have 1 out of the 20. I don't even know if that's 5%. That's not a lot. So if you had 5 20s, yeah. So out of, so we have 2 now. Well, that would be the 20th. So there was a Wilt Chamberlain card in the first 20 out of the second 100. So we have 2 out of the first 20 that got 10s. 5 to 10%. I'm determining what really is the fairest way. And the card has to be perfect, right, to get the gem mint. That card for me is getting gem mint value. Feel free to disagree in the comments. Appreciate you watching. Continue to watch.